Hi guys, welcome back to the Soul Food Podcast, a safe space where we talk about God, theology, the Bible, and the Christian life in general. I'm your host, Noma. A few weeks ago, the Soul Food Podcast turned 3, so happy belated birthday to us. 3 years ago now, the Lord led me to start this podcast, and in those 3 short years, I have recorded over 20 episodes, which have gotten over 150 plays. The Soul Food Podcast has amassed an audience in the UK, US, New Zealand, Philippines, Germany, Netherlands, Faroe Islands, and Canada, with an age demographic of listeners ranging from 18 to 59 years old, listening worldwide. I just want to start off by thanking God for His grace and to shout out everyone who has tuned in over the years. In the spirit of the Soul Food Podcast turning 3, and to kick off season 3, I will be sharing 4 tips for building a successful podcast for anyone thinking of joining the podcasting community. Tip number 1 is focus. By focus, I mean have a clearly defined purpose and mission before starting a podcast. For example, the Soul Food Podcast is a Christian podcast that is dedicated to teaching truth and transforming lives. Hence, my mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ in accordance to the Bible to enable spiritual growth, because the Bible is food for our souls, and without it, we cannot grow spiritually. Recent statistics say that as of September 2023, there are over 3 million podcasts available worldwide. These figures also include inactive podcasts. I believe the range of topics that the active podcasts cover is just as high, if not higher in number. Unlike blogs, with the podcast, you can cover a broader range of topics in one sitting. But by having a clearly defined purpose, this will help you stay focused on the value you bring to the podcast community, as well as to carry out your mission, instead of getting tossed about by every wind of current affairs. Don't try to appeal to everyone. Know what your mission is and who your target audience is, and stick to it. Tip number 2 is quality. Putting out high quality content makes your podcast successful. The saying, quality over quantity, is especially true in this case. When it comes to podcasting, I'd rather have 5 good quality episodes rather than 25 bad ones just for the sake of it. The better the quality, the more likely listeners will engage positively with your content. There are a few ways you can achieve high quality content. For example, investing in equipment such as a recording camera, podcast microphone, headphones, etc., if you can afford to. But if you are using your phone or laptop, there are professional recording software, settings, and apps you can use to enhance audio quality, thereby improving the listening experience for your audience. A few that I use are Anchor FM, Riverside FM, and Voice Memos, which has an enhanced audio setting on my iPhone. High quality content also makes your podcast more professional and appealing to listeners and or paying advertisers. All in all, to achieve high quality content, just remember the general rule of thumb, which is anything worth doing is worth doing well. Tip number 3 is consistency. Given the busy UK society that we live in, maintaining any level of consistency alongside anything else you have going on for you is hard, especially for those of us who work a 9 to 5 like myself. Consistency is an individual thing because it depends on your personal circumstances and situation. No one can dictate to you how regularly you should record or publish a new episode. I listen to quite a number of podcasts, and there are podcasters that put out a new episode once a week or thrice a week or fortnightly. It really all depends on what you can maintain. So find what works for you and stick to it. Consistency also means that you stay on topic and on brand. To build success, stay as consistent as possible with your podcasting style and schedule. Tip number 4 is realistic strategies. Following from tip number 3, I think having a set day and time you record and or publish new episodes is a realistic strategy to have, as it keeps you on schedule. Promoting your podcast is another big part of making it a success. Social media helps you spread the word. A good way to utilize social media as a realistic strategy is to research and find out what the best days and times to post on different social media platforms you promote your podcast with are, and post on those days and within those times. Also, use as many relevant hashtags as possible for better post engagement with both your followers and non-followers. In closing, and as a bonus tip if you like, I think having a clear definition of what success means to you and working towards it helps you build it. For me, I don't measure success by numbers. I know that's so countercultural, but as Christians, we cannot afford to fall into this way of thinking. Think about it. During his public ministry, Jesus only had 12 disciples, and one ended up betraying him. Not only that, in Matthew 7 from verse 13 to 14, Jesus said, and I quote, "Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life. And those who find it are few." So the whole concept of basing your idea of success on numbers is grossly unbiblical. But if you don't have a definition of what success is to work with, then how would you know when you have achieved it? Success to me is A, setting goals and achieving them. More than that, success is B, fulfilling my God-given purpose, as strongly supported by Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, which says, "This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success." And again in Proverbs chapter 3 from verse 1 to 4, which reads, "My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, so you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man." There you have it, the 4 tips on building a successful podcast, namely focus, quality, consistency, and realistic strategies. Thank you all for joining me today. Tune in next week where I will talk about my reflections from the coronavirus pandemic. The Soul Food podcast is available on all streaming platforms, so please share and subscribe as you listen. Until next time, peace and blessings.